Okay, let's talk about something that I think we've all experienced. That moment when your smart home does something, well, kind of stupid. You know, the lights turn off while you're sitting right there, or your automations just feel completely random. Well, today we're diving into a device that claims it can fix all of that.
And this little guy is it. This is the Aqara FP2 Presence Sensor. It's this small, unassuming puck that promises to be the breakthrough we've all been hoping for. The key to finally turning a frustrating smart home into a truly intelligent one.
But that's the big question, isn't it? I mean, is this thing for real? Or is it just another piece of tech that overpromises and underdelivers?
Well, I've spent over 40 hours testing this thing, living with it, and digging into how it works. And now I'm ready to give you the honest, no fluff deep dive. So let's get into it. So first up, let's talk about why we even need this. Section 1, when smart homes are dumb, the problem with motion. Okay, so here's the fundamental difference that you have to understand. Traditional sensors, the ones most of us have all over our homes, they only detect movement. So if you sit down to read a book or just chilling on the couch watching TV, you're not moving. The sensor says, well, guess the room is empty, and poof, the lights go out. It's so frustrating. Presence detection, though, is a whole different ballgame. It's designed to detect people, you, a human being, whether you're moving around or sitting perfectly still. And that leads us right into Section 2, the promise of true presence. We're talking about a sensor that aims to actually see you. So how does it pull this off? It's not using the old school infrared tech. No, this thing uses mmWave radar to constantly scan the room. It's so sensitive, it can pick up on the tiniest signs of a human being there, like, your chest moving as you breathe. But here's where it gets really wild. With just one of these sensors, you can take a single room and digitally chop it up into as many as 30 separate zones that you can use for automations. That is an absolute game changer. So what can you actually do with that power? Well, imagine your desk lights only turning on when you sit down in your specific desk chair zone, or maybe a ceiling fan that only kicks on when it detects 2 people in the living room. You could even set it so the main bedroom lights won't turn on if it knows someone is still in the bed zone. I mean, this is some next level smart home magic. This chart really just lays it all out. Your standard motion sensor, it just does one thing. The FP2, though, gives you true presence, all those zones, and it can even detect multiple people at once. It's just playing in a completely different league. But does all that power come with a catch? Oh, you bet it does. Which brings us to the tough part. Section 3, the reality. Let's talk about the real deal breakers that a lot of reviews tend to just gloss over. Okay, first things first, if you're expecting this to be plug and play, just forget it. It's not. You're gonna spend a good chunk of time in the app, physically walking around your room to map out its shape and teach the sensor where everything is. It takes some serious patience. And even after all that careful setup, you can still run into false positives. Things like ceiling fans, curtains blowing in a breeze, even mirrors can sometimes trick the radar into thinking someone is in a room when they're not. And that can mean your lights stay on forever, which is, well, it's the exact opposite of what we're trying to achieve. And this isn't some super rare issue either. Based on my own experience and a lot of user feedback out there, it seems about 30% of people who install these run into these false positive problems. So it's a significant flaw you really need to know about going in. And finally, there's the delay. When you move from one zone to another, like, say, walking through your doorway into the main part of the room, there can be a lag of a few seconds before the automation actually fires. Now, that might not sound like a big deal, but in the world of smart homes, any noticeable delay just feels like a failure. It completely breaks that illusion of instant, seamless automation. Okay, so it's got some real problems. But here's the good news. A lot of them can be managed, or even fixed. And that brings us to Section 4, Secrets to a Smarter Setup. This is your reliability playbook. All right, these 3 steps are absolutely crucial, trust me. First, placement is everything. You want to mount it up high, somewhere between 6.5 and 7 feet, and keep it pointed away from things like mirrors or fans. Second, when you're setting up your zones, be really deliberate. Create specific zones for entrances and exits. And third, and this is a big one, if you move your furniture around, you have to remap the room. I know it's a pain, but doing these things will make a huge difference in reliability. All right, so after all of that, we've come to the final section, the final verdict. The big question, should you buy this, wait, or just reconsider entirely? When you look at them side by side, the trade-off is pretty clear. The FP2 blows a traditional sensor out of the water when it comes to features and what it can detect, but you pay for that power with a higher price tag and way more setup complexity. It's that classic battle, power versus simplicity.
And that's really the bottom line here. This little device has the potential to completely revolutionize how a room in your smart home works. It can make it feel truly intelligent. But, and this is a very big but, it is absolutely not for everyone. So who is it for? You should definitely buy it if you are just sick and tired of lights turning off on you, if you're craving that next level automation that knows where you are in a room, and most importantly, if you're the kind of person who's willing to put in the time to get it set up and tweaked just right. On the other hand, you should probably reconsider if you just want something that works right out of the box, zero fuss. If you need 100% perfect reliability without any tinkering, or if you're on a tight budget, you know what? A good old-fashioned motion sensor is probably still the better choice for you right now. If I had to boil this entire experience down into a single sentence, it would be this. It's powerful, but only if configured right. The potential is massive, but it really makes you work for it. Which leaves us with one last question, and it's a question only you can answer for your own home. Is that promise of a perfectly automated room one that really truly understands when you're there? Is it worth the price of admission and the possibility of a frustrating setup? The power is there for the taking, but you have to decide if you're willing to be the one to